Hey everyone, the name's Erik Thor, and we are actually soon entering into a new Chinese year. The Chinese believe that the years can be divided into 12 different animals, archetypes representing qualities, different values, different qualities. And on the 28th of January, we are going to be entering the year of the rooster. Interestingly, as the similar time as Donald Trump steps up as president of the United States. I find that the Chinese New Year's and the horoscopes associated with the Chinese astrology may not have scientific validity, but they still paint an interesting picture of different values and archetypes that are often universal to a lot of humans throughout the world. And it's interesting to think about what these Chinese animals represent. Symbolically speaking, what does the year of the rooster mean? And for me, the year of the rooster represents honesty and a wake-up call. A call to actively think about stuff and to wake up and to actually start speaking out the truth, to start seeing what the truth is. I find that it's interesting that the Chinese operate with 12 horoscopes that transition from one another. It's like you can envision the Chinese astrology as a clock of 12 beats, just as a normal clock. And the fascinating thing about this clock is that it suggests that every year brings a new quality. If the year of the rooster brings honesty, the year of the monkey suggests wisdom, freedom from deception, the ability to see through lies and deceit. If the year of the monkey then transitions into the year of the sheep can represent peacefulness and unity and connection. And if the year of the sheep then transitions into the year of the horse can represent self-direction and freedom. And if the horse then transitions into the snake can be said to represent values of questioning and thinking curiously about the world. Finally, if the snake then can be transitioned towards the dragon can represent the challenges and the rewards of questioning things and of embracing the challenges brought on by your curiosity. And if the dragon finally transitions into the rabbit can represent the prosperity and the resourcefulness of what the dragon has created, of finalizing the challenges. All of the animals are suggesting one thing, and that is that each year our values move forward one step. We move from honesty to wisdom to peace to freedom. And it's interesting to suggest a hierarchy here, because it's like the Chinese astrology paints the picture of a hierarchy where each value depends on the other. To have wisdom, you must have honesty. To have peace, you must have wisdom. To have freedom, you must have peace. And to have achievement and curiosity, you must have freedom to think freely and to walk your own path. There are, in addition to these animals, 6 other animals and 6 other values, and if you actually look at them, I try to look through them and I try to connect them to Schwartz Value Survey, one of the world's most recognized system of values. And in Schwartz Value Survey, there was just a wheel like this. There was a wheel with the values of wisdom, peace, and freedom very closely interlinked. Honesty also very closely interlinked with wisdom. And all of the values here seem to have connections, relations. The Schwartz Value Survey is built on interviewing people and asking them what's important. Having people all over the world answer this questionnaire and then seeing how these values tend to relate to one another. A person who speaks of honesty, what other values do they tend to bring up? Well, through this, what Schwartz found was that a person who believes honesty is valuable also believes that generosity and kindness is valuable. A person that believes that achievement is valuable tends to also believe that power is valuable, just as pleasure and stimulation. And similarly, these two instruments seem to suggest something, that values are connected and build on one another rather than the idea that values are opposed to one another, and that values tend to move like a clock from 12 to 6 to 6 to 12. And while this is not directly suggested by Schwartz, this is the Chinese theory. The Chinese theory is that values tend to move from year to year, and that each year tends to represent a certain value. I cannot say if this is true or not. Often I think that when we take these things, like astrology, what we do is we think them true. We think them to be true. If we think they are true, then we read in and find evidence that suggests it is true. Just as I connected the year of the rooster to Donald Trump, other people will find other things related to being a rooster and connecting them to their experiences of this year. If you want to believe this is true, you can make it true by finding evidence to support your conclusion. And that's how our minds tend to work. Often we find this idea, and then we find evidence to support this idea, rather than evidence that will question it. Often this is the main criticism against astrology, that when I worked with astrology as a kid, I was actually very interested in psychology. I was interested in astrology. And I found myself reading about the personality types associated with astrology, Aquarius and the Scorpio and the similar different ones. And I started developing advanced horoscopes for myself. And I became thrown aback because astrology has a lot of maths. And what I did was I created and I designed my own charts based on my birth date and time. The only problem was I had my birth time wrong. I had my birth time wrong, but I still got a set of horoscopes based on my time. And then I looked through these and I was thinking, wow, this is so true. This is all starting to make sense. Everything here I found out makes so much sense. Only one problem though. It was the complete opposite of my real birth time. My charts were completely wrong. And this was kind of like a wake-up call to me as a kid. I realized that, wow, there is something called the Thor effect. Wow, this wasn't true. I only thought it was true because I made it seem true. I found evidence to support a wrong conclusion. Still, there is a strength to astrology and to Chinese astrology, and that is that it gets your mind rolling. Systems like astrology have a merit. They have something positive to them in that they really kickstart your brain. Before you had your horoscope, you had no process of going through your experiences and reflecting on your day and your activities. But astrology gives you these buzzwords, such as honesty. And then you can find and use these buzzwords to analyze your day, your activities, your week, your life. These buzzwords create positive associations in your brain, and they put you in this state that opens you to thinking and reflecting on your experience. Thanks to astrology, you can actually daydream about your life. You can put your experiences into place. You can find themes for your life. You can find social themes for who you are, what you're going through, and what you're experiencing. Sometimes these horoscopes won't give any meaningful information though. Sometimes what you read won't give you any positive associations. Sometimes you'll get a dead description that goes like, "Ma'am, sure." And sometimes the horoscopes will bring up really important questions in your life. Just as drawing a tarot card, even if it's truly at random, that Queen of Hearts, that doesn't exist in the tarot. Well, that Magician card, that Fool card, becomes like this symbol, this theme of your life. Wow, I am a fool. What does this mean? Wow, I'm a magician. What does this mean? Why did I draw the magician card? Have I met someone? Has something happened? The meaning of Chinese horoscopes and Western horoscopes, I think, is to create these associations. And I don't fault anyone for doing this, for wanting to explore this topic. I understand totally why people do it and why people see it as such a fun activity. To some people, it just puts them in that good state where they can actually learn about their experiences. And to others, it won't do anything. I wouldn't judge what's best. I wouldn't say that one way of experiencing it is better than another. What do you think about horoscopes? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments field down below, and as always, may your neurons be with you.